Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be walking you through the process of painting Dawn and Dusk. This is an idea that I had floating around in my head for a little while, and the idea was the dawn star and the dusk star, so like the morning and the evening star, are crossing paths, one as she's leaving her post and the other one as she's going to her post. And they kind of make eye contact and wonder what the other person's life is like, what the other celestial being's life is like, but also know that they can never experience it because part of their job is kind of keeping the balance of the universe, so they can never really do anything except the post that they're in. So I'm painting it with acrylic inks, and here you can see I was just using some masking fluid to cover certain portions. I prefer not to use masking fluid on the faces because if I do want to keep a highlight pure white on a face, what masking fluid does is the ink ends up pooling around where you put it, so that kind of creates a harsh line. So when I'm doing faces, I just try to use a brush and then just not paint on the areas that I want to keep white. Here I'm starting to block in the overall shapes, and I start out pretty light. It's almost like another version of a sketch. Now, in the video you can't really see, but there's a very thin blue line, and that's what the sketch is drawn in. And the kind of like the working sketch I did digitally because that lets me really figure out the proportions and the overall composition and the contrast. Because once I get into the inks, there's not really a lot of room for error. You have to really know what you're going for and then just go for it. So I'd say that like the actual painting of this piece is probably about half the work, if not even less, than goes into it, because the initial sketch actually takes me a pretty long time as well. Here I'm working on the background and really trying to let the ink do its thing, like do its natural thing and flow all over the place. That's part of what I really like about ink. It's this kind of unexpected nature. You never know really what it's going to do. But at the same time still trying to stick to kind of the values that I worked out in the sketch. Now I'm working on the face. The face on the left in this image, I really wanted to have like a really deep, dark, rich skin tone. And to do that with inks, I really need to go in with many layers so that the gradients between all the different parts are very soft and there's nice blending between them. With the background and the clothes and everything like that, I want to go as messy and unexpected as possible and let the ink do whatever it wants to do. But with faces, I want a lot more control. And then on the face on the right, I'm doing something different, which is just putting in the barest minimum shadows I can. And in that way, I hope to kind of create that contrast between the morning and the evening. I guess this could also kind of be like the sun and moon as well, so not just the evening and morning star. Now putting in those few details. It's pretty tough to try to get the facial expression I want with like so few, how can I put this, like with so little ink. Like it's not a pencil, you can't erase it and tweak the line over and over again, you just have to put it down once and kind of commit to it. On the right, you can see it. I have little blotter tester paper. I think that's so important because oftentimes in the palette, I can't at all tell how dark the ink is. I have to test it out on a little sheet of paper before I put it onto the final image. Here I'm just doing the few final touches, little lines here and there. And then taking off the masking fluid, which is always like a fun little surprise. I did end up going in after with a little bit of white ink, which you won't see in the video. Just add a few more details to the crown and the collar piece. They just weren't as white as I wanted them to be. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you want to see more.